Hello and welcome. This lesson is going to be about solutions of linear inequalities. So the objective is to identify points which are or are not part of the solution of linear inequalities. So here's some examples. Okay, these are very similar to some star problems in the past. So basically here is which of the following is a solution to the inequality 5x minus y greater than 3. So first order of business is I'm going to get the y alone by subtracting 5x from both sides. And the 5x goes away. I'm left with negative y greater than 3 minus 5x. Now the y is not alone yet, so we're going to divide both sides by -1 to get rid of that negative. And when I do that, because I'm dividing by a negative number, I'm going to flip the inequality sign. So this would be -3 plus 5x. So right there, the y is alone, so I can identify my slope and my y-intercept. My slope is 5 over 1, and my y-intercept is -3. Now I'm ready to graph. So I'm going to go to the graph, and I notice I start at -3 with an empty circle because there's no dash on the inequality sign. So I come over here and I make a empty circle. And then looking at the slope, I'm going to go up 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1 would land somewhere in here. Okay, and then if I try to go backwards, I won't have enough space. So now using a ruler, I'm going to connect the dots using dotted line. Okay, so there we go. These are my dotted line right there. Very good. Now, if you remember, this is a symbol is less than, so I imagine my elevator, and I'm going to ask to be on a floor that is less than the one that I'm right now. So that means I want to lower. So that means my shaded region is going to be right here. This is going to be my solution set to this inequality. Now, this is a multiple choice question, and they gave me four multiple choices. So the first one is -4, 1. So -4, 1 is that point right there. That would be point A. And then we have -6, 0, -6, 0. That's point B. And then 3, -1. That's point C. And D is 1, 6, which is over here. So the question is, which of the following is a solution to the inequality? Well, point C will be in the solution because all the other points are outside the shaded region. So with certainty, I know it's going to be letter C. Okay, let's try another problem. Here's example number 2. Example number 2 is nice because the y is already alone, so I can identify my slope, which is -4/3, and my b is 1. And I'm going to start with empty points, so let's start with 1 with an empty point right there. And from there, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 to the right. Cannot go anymore. Then I go backwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 to the left. And then I can connect the points, and I'm going to use a dotted line. There we go. And now I'm going to plot these points. Oh, first I'm going to shade. Shade, I'm going to go greater than. So here's my elevator. I'm going to move the elevator up. So I'm shading in this side of the line. Now let's make the points. The points is 3, -3, 3, -3, and the point is right there. That's point A. And then we have 4, 2. 4, 2 is letter B. And then -2, 6, which is right there, which is letter C. And then 6, 0, 6, 0. Okay, so I notice there's 3 points in the shaded region and 1 point right on the line. And I noticed that the question says is not a solution? Well, all of these are solutions, and this here is right on the line, but the line is a dotted line and empty point. So if you notice, that point right there is not part of the solution. Okay, so basically, if this was like an area where people would get sick, these people would be infected with the disease. This person is right at the frontier or the border, but as long as they're stepping on this line, they don't get sick. But if they move to this line, then they would get sick. Okay, so this could be used to describe area of contamination. And this person should not be contaminated, but if they step one step further, then they would get contaminated. So this is not part of the solution set. So this would be letter A. That would be the answer. Okay. All right, very good. Let's go on to the next one. Next one is another graph that is from star test. Okay, so if you notice right there, the y is almost alone. The only thing I need to do is divide by -6. And since there's no space here, I'm going to put over there. And because I'm dividing by a negative number, I'm going to flip the inequality sign. And this is going to be 1 over 3x. And this would be positive 3. So if you notice, the y is alone. And now I have the slope 1/3. And my b is 3. Also notice that I'm going to shade below the line because here's my elevator, I'm going to go down the line. So off the bat, I know this is not going to be this one, not this one, and it's going to be one of these, okay? It's all going to depend on where do they start. Okay, this one starts at -3 and the y-intercept is a +3, so I know it's not this one. This one started at +3 and then I go up 1 over 3, up 1 over 3. And according to this, here's my elevator, I'm going to shade it down. So that means this is going to be letter J. Very well, let's go on to the next one. The problem starts with the graph of 0.5x minus 2y equals 3 is shown on the grid. And basically, they already graphed a line for you. And it says which order pair is in the solution set of 0.5x minus 2y greater or equal to 3. So if you notice, it's the same, very similar. Here's an equation, here's an inequality. But the graph is already graphed for you. But still, it would be important to get the y alone so we can see if we're going to flip the sign. So let's do that. So we subtract 0.5x. So I'm left with -2y greater or equal to 3 minus 0.5x. Then we divide it by -2. This would be y. The inequality sign flips. This would be 3 over 2. So -3 over 2. And then 0.5 divided by -2 becomes 0.25x. You can also put it like in decimals, so it'll be -1.5. And here you can put it as a fraction, 1 over 4. Okay, but basically here we already have the graph for us. We don't have to worry about the details about the slope and the y-intercept, but we do have to worry about this. The inequality sign flips, so that means here's my elevator, and I'm going to ask the elevator to go down, so that means I shade it below the line. Okay, and then I'm going to plot the points to see which ones are in the solution set, because that's what we're looking for is in the solution set. So it'll be -2, 0.5, be right there, this letter A. 2, 1 will be right there. So they are not in the solution. And then 2, -1 is right there. And it's on the line, and the line is solid, so it is part of the solution. And let's just double check the next one. -2, 0.5 is letter D. So with certainty, the answer is letter C. Okay, very good. Let's go on to the next page. So on the next page, again, the y is alone. So let's And if you like, to stop the video and give it a try, and then restart the video and try to see if you got it right or wrong. That would be a great practice, okay? So if you want, you can go ahead and stop the video, try this problem, and then when you're done, restart it. So, but anyway, my slope here is -6 over 1, and my b is 1. So then I'm going to start the graph at 1 with an empty point. And from there, I'm going to go down 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1. And then I'm going to connect using a dotted line. Good. Then I look at this inequality symbol. It says less than. So put my pencil there, and I'll go down. So that means I'm going to shade this side of the graph. And I am going to go to graph these points. So 1, 0 is letter A right there. And then 1, -1 is point B. Next one is 0, 1. That's point C. And -1, 1, letter D. Okay, and the problem says which coordinate pair is in the solution set? It's letter D. So letter D is the answer. All right, let's try the next one here. The next one is kind of sideways right there. This one, again, the y is already alone, so we can identify our slope, which is going to be m equals -1 over 3, and our b equals 4. We're going to start the graph f4, and then from there I go down 1 over 3, down 1 over 3, then backwards, up 1 over 3, up 1 over 3. Now I'll connect the points using a dotted line. Now I need to shade. According to this is less than, so I put my pencil there at the elevator, and I'm going to shade below that point. I'm going to ask the elevator to go down. So that means my shaded region is right there. And my question is, which coordinate points does represent a solution of the inequality? So we have various points here. So let's see. The first point A is -3, 5. So let's see. -3, and then 5 is a point right there. So that point, let me make it a little bit higher. So if you see letter A is not part of the solution, then we have -2, 5, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's point B. That's not part of the solution. Then we have -2, -5, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is part of the solution. So that's one of our answers. So let's try the next one. 0, 0 is this point right here, letter D, and that's part of the solution. Then we have 3, 4, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is not part of the solution. Then we have point F, which is 4, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Not part of the solution. Then we have 0, 4. So 0, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, the point is empty, so it's not part of the solution. Then we have 0, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not part of the solution. Then we have 7, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 0. That's part of the solution. So out of these 9 points, 3 of them were part of the solution. Okay, so these are some examples on how to solve problems with solutions for linear inequalities. Now let's go back to the paper. And now we're going to talk about, what if I was given a graph and I ask you to find the inequality of that graph? Okay, so let's say I have this graph right here. And first thing I'm going to do is going to find the slope and the y-intercept. So I'm going to look for some good points. So right here I see a good point, and here's another good point. And if you remember, slope is rise over run. So I go down 2, so negative 2 over 3. And then my y-intercept is 1. So just like writing an equation, you're going to have y mx plus b. So this will be negative 2/3 x and plus 1. Now the question is it going to be less than or greater than dash or no dash? Well, obviously the line is dotted, so it's no dash. And if you notice right here, here's my elevator. I went up to shade. So and up, it means greater than. So that means my inequality symbol is y greater than negative 2/3 x plus 1. Let's try the next one. Next one, I see a horizontal line, so I know the slope is 0, and I know my y-intercept is 2. So right there is y and 0x plus 2, so y2. And then if you notice, I shaded below the line, so it'd be less than. So less than. And because the line's solid, it would be less than or equal to. So this would be my equation. Let's go on to the next one. Next one, I see a vertical line, so this is a no slope, and there's no y-intercept, not applicable. So that means this will start with x, and where on the x-axis does this line touch? Touches on the negative 1. And because it's shading that direction, if you notice, this is your inequality symbol, that direction, and there will be no dash because the line is dotted. All right, next one is I have this here, and I notice I have a good point right here. I have another good point right there. So right there, I see I go up 3 over 1 for my slope, and my y-intercept is negative 2. So I start out with 3x minus 2. And then the question is, am I going to use less than or greater than? Okay. And I notice that the line is solid, so I'm definitely going to have the dash underneath. And if you think about the elevator, here's the elevator. Where did I go to shade? I went down, so that means I want to be on the floor less than. So then my symbol is less than or equal to. All right. So right now, the next problems is some practice problems based on what we just learned. I'm just going to do a couple problems just to show you how to do these. So right here, I noticed that I have these two good points right here. So I notice my slope is 1 over 3, and my b is negative 2. Okay, so I also notice that it's shading up. So this would be y 1/3 x minus 2, and it's going to be greater than because the elevator went up, and we'll have a dash. So with that, I look over here at these multiple choices, and I look for the equation that I just found. Let's see if we can find it. And I made a mistake here. Here's supposed to be positive 2. Yeah, because we went up 2. So this would be 1/3 plus 2. So it would be letter G. Okay. Sorry about my mistake there. We went up 2, so it's positive 2. And this is 1 over 3. 1 over 3. All right, number 2. Let's see. We have this good point here. And we have this other good point. So right there, I know that my slope is negative 1 over 1. And my b is negative 3. So my equation is going to be y negative 1x minus 3. And if you notice, I shaded below the line, so it'll be less than. And the line is dotted, so no dash. So now we know that this is the equation we're looking for. And let's see if we can find it. This one right there, letter J. So right now, why don't you stop the video and try these problems? And once you get the problems 3 through 8, restart the video to see if you got the right answer. Okay, welcome back. So let's check on these ones. I notice right here, this is going to be my negative 2 is going to be my y-intercept. And then here's another good point. So I went up 2 over 3. So 2 over 3, x is my slope. And the question is, what kind of symbol I'm going to have? Well, I shaded below the line. That means I went down to shade, so that would be less than. And the line is dotted, so it would be no dash. So let's see if we can find this equation right here. Right there would be letter C. Okay. All right, let's do number 4. Number 4, the y-intercept is right there, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, positive. And then the slope is up 3 over 1, so it'll be 3 over 1x. And I shaded above the line, so it'll be greater than with the dash because this line is solid. And let's see if we can find this equation. Okay, by the way, we already used J, we already used C. Let's see, we're looking for 3x plus 4. There we go, letter M. Let's go on to the next one. Graph right here. So we're going to see here the y-intercept is at 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we pick another good point, this one right here, and we see that we go down 2 over 1. So this would be negative 2 over 1x. And because I shade below, that means I ask the elevator to go down, it would be less than. And it will have a dash because the line is solid. So that's going to be my equation. And as I look here, I see that it's going to be letter L. Very good. Let's go to number 6. Number 6, we see the y-intercept here is at 3. And then my next good point is right here. So that means I go up 1 over 1. So my y-intercept is at 3. And my slope is 1 over 1 x. And because I went up to shade, I go greater than. And it's going to be no dash because the line is dotted. So this is going to be my graph 1x plus 3. And I believe it's going to be letter I right here. So letter I. Number 7, we start at negative 2 for my y-intercept. The next good point is right here. So that means I go up 3 over 2. So 3 over 2x. And I always verify 3 over 2, 3 over 2. So that kind of matches. And because I went down to shade, that means it'll be less than. And we'll have a dash because the line is solid. So let's see if we can find this one. The first one there, letter A. And the last problem here, we started right here at the y-intercept of 4, so positive 4. And then I choose good points right there. Here's another good point, so up 2 over 1. So this will be 2 over 1x. And because I went up to shade, it will be greater than. And no dash because the line are dotted. So let's see if we can see this. Letter E right there. So there you go. This concludes this lesson. Basically, today we talked about how to find solutions of inequalities given like multiple choice questions like the star. We also learned how to identify the inequality of a graph, given a graph there. Okay, so I hope this video is helpful. Thank you very much for your time and have a great day. Bye-bye.